Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trey, and this is Retcon Comics. I just seen Superman. Superman, directed by James Gunn, the first entry in the DCU, starring David Corenswet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, as well as a slew of other people and other characters in this movie. And so, if you have not, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know the next time Retcon Comics post a video. I'm not going to get into a super in-depth review of this movie, but I will say this. Walking out of that theater, there were four things that really stuck out to me. One, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. There was a lot going on in this movie in terms of, it wasn't a low key movie. It was a loud movie, and it was a busy movie. It was a kinetic movie. And so, in terms of the Lois character, there were, she was a part of the action, but there were also a few moments where you kind of saw her piecing things together and solving the riddle, if you will. But again, I think Rachel Brosnahan did a wonderful job. Second, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. There were times in this movie where I literally said out loud, I don't like him. Referring to Lex. And Lex is supposed to make you feel that way. Was it a little campy? Sure. It was a little campy. But there was a real hatred that Lex had for Superman in this movie. And he went to great lengths to prove just how much he hated Superman. The third thing, David Corenswet. He embodied Superman in such a way that we really haven't seen in a really long time. Probably not since, the Christopher Reeve Superman. And to take nothing away from, Brandon Ruth or Henry Cavill, taking nothing away from them. But this version of Superman, the characterization of Superman, was much more, hopeful. It was bright. It was, he cared so much about humanity. There was a particular scene in this movie involving a character that had an interaction with Superman. Something happens to this character, and Superman shows emotion because of it, right? Just kind of shows how much he loves humanity. Those shots of Superman saving people, taking time out to, there was a scene, or there was a moment where Superman essentially saved a cat out of a tree. It wasn't a cat, it wasn't a tree, but it was such a cool and corny moment that it was. I don't want to give it away. There's no spoilers in this review, but it was so Superman. Yeah. The fourth thing, I think James Gunn got it right. I think James Gunn, Peter Safran, they have they've kicked off the DCU the right way. This is the Superman that we needed. I think that this is the Superman personally I wanted. It is a departure from the darker characterization, the darker tone from the Snyderverse. And it was very much the Superman. It reminded me a lot of the Superman from the animated series. Now, there was a clear distinction between Superman and Clark, which I really appreciated. That took me back to the Christopher Reeve version of the character. But this didn't rely on that. It didn't rely on making you think about Christopher Reeve, right? It didn't rely on reminding you of the Donner Superman movies. There were certain things that were done with the theme itself. It was a touch of that classic John Williams score. But man, I just tell you, I think they did a great job of creating their Superman. I'm excited to see what's coming. I'm excited to see, the difference between the DCU Superman and the DCU's Batman. I'm interested to see these other characters come in. I mean, even in this movie, we got an opportunity to see Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, who had a prominent role in this movie. We got to see Nathan Fillion as Gardner, Isabella Merced as Hawk Girl. And, they did a great job of letting you know that there is a universe that exists. Crypto was hilarious. Crypto was great. Crypto was a hero. And Crypto was definitely a bad dog. There were some things that were maybe a little too convenient in terms of the story. It would have been cool to see a different way out of certain situations for Superman. I'll put it that way. But if I'm being honest, any gripe that I might have about this movie, it pales in comparison to the way I felt when the movie was over. And I think when you leave a Superman movie, you're supposed to poke your chest out a little bit, right? You're supposed to feel a little bit more hopeful. And this movie certainly did that. Tell us what you thought about this movie. Do you think this is a good start to the DCU? Do you think James Gunn did a good job? Do you think David Corenswet did a good job as Superman? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you have not, again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know the next time Retcon Comics posts a video. For Doc, for Josh, I am Trey, and we are Retcon.